Hi, everybody. Let's take a look at Delta Module 1, Paper 1, Task 4 today. This is also a longer written response with a total of 20 marks. So let's see how we can solve this task. Let's take a look at the different components. So first of all, we need to have the ability to analyze and explain learners' errors in written and spoken discourse. So you can have either a written sample or you can have the transcript of a spoken response with the phonemic parts in the phonemic script. Now the errors can be lexical, that is related to words, their meanings, and so on, or grammatical, related to the structure, functional, related to the different chunks of language that have a specific function, or phonological, related to sounds and phonology, discoursal, related to anything above sentence level, organization, and so on. Now, there could be different areas to be considered for this task. For example, register, whether it is high register or low register, if it's legal language, medical language, if it's formal style, less formal, informal, consultative, all of that could be part of register. Then we have cohesion related to linkers. It is similar to coherence, but coherence will be more implicit as opposed to cohesion, which is more direct. You can see it very obviously. So the other one can be part of organization, which is the next point. There can be a range of grammar and lexis. You can also have accuracy of grammar and lexis. So by range, they mean how ample is it? Is the language enough to cover all the ideas that are required in this task? Are they up to the level? Then the same about the accuracy. Is the grammar structure used the correct one to be used in the context? The same with lexis, or the appropriacy of words use. So now you'll have an authentic spoken, transcribed, or written text by the learner, and you'll have to identify a total of 4 strengths and weaknesses. So again, the areas are listed. For example, now 3 marks will be given for each key strength or weakness, and you have to write a total of 4 having at least 1 strength or weakness. 2 marks will be there for each example. So for each strength that you have correctly identified, you'll be given 2 marks for an example of it. So each point will have those 3 plus these 2. That's a total of 5 marks. And when you make 4 points, you'll get a total of 20 marks. Marks will not be given if your strength or weakness identified is incorrect, but you have a correct example from the sample text, because then you're not really explaining the strength or weakness at all. So we can see a sample task now. So task 4, 20 marks. There's a text associated with it, 161 words, and the CEFR level has been given. So all of your errors have to be identified, keeping in mind this CEFR level. Here in this task, it's B1. The question is to write about a holiday you'll never forget. So we'll see a sample that the learner has produced based on this. Now, as we've already mentioned, there will be 4 key strengths and weakness to be written. 1 strength and 1 weakness at least is required. So you can't have all 4 strengths or all 4 weaknesses. You can have 2 and 2 or 3 and 1. That's completely fine. Organization, accuracy of grammar, range and accuracy of lexis, and cohesion. These are the 4 points to be considered. So 4 areas to be considered for this particular task. Now here's the learner sample. You can pause the video and take a look at it a little bit more carefully. As you can see, some errors are very obvious. So for example, spelling errors here, we couldn't believe it, and in the second paragraph, and so on. So let's take a look at the answer. So first point, is it a strength or weakness? That's the first thing you need to identify. So we've said organization is a strength. Now here you can see how that has been explained. So first paragraph has the context, then there's a challenging situation explained, there's a chronological sequence of events, and finally there's a conclusion in the last paragraph. That's how organization is a strength. And an example is given. You can see that at different points of the text, the example or the evidence has been collected and it has been put together. So this is a good example. We can see that the examiner's comments say it's an appropriate answer in sample. Now the next one, serial number 2, again, is it a strength or weakness? Cohesion, it's a strength. The student has used a variety of a good range of level appropriate discourse markers, linking devices, and you don't really need to mention the punctuation marks are missing because this is a strength answer. So, example, some linkers and some discourse markers at the beginning, finally, and so on. And here, the teacher, when responding, they've kept the learner language as is. So even if there's an error, as we can see, I think in the last one, it's just been kept as is in the example. Now, the next one, serial number 3, is it a strength or weakness? We can see accuracy of grammar. This one is a weakness. Now, the student has made errors in the negative form using simple past. I think that's enough. We don't need to include the second one here. So the example is also from the simple past, you can see here, and the error has been underlined. This part is not required. We don't need to mention 2 different sub areas of accuracy of grammar. One is enough. Now, sometimes there can be 2 cases where the accuracy of grammar or any other point, it can be a weakness as well as a strength, and that's fine as long as the areas such as here the simple past, it's a different one from maybe another one you would mention as a strength, so that's completely fine as well. And then finally we have number 4, is it a strength or weakness? So here, range and accuracy of lexis is a weakness. So here they've mentioned use of adjectives and some collocations could be improved. So funny instead of fun, worry instead of worried, and so on. And another one has been highlighted here. So that's enough. Again, 2 things have been taken here. We can just take one. So collocations, go with collocations. If it's adjectives, you can just go with adjectives. Remember that we do task feedback, lesson observation, tutorials and courses, and more. We're also giving feedback to the first 5 subscribers. So please subscribe and do feel free to send your samples if you want any comments on your sample answers for any of the Delta Module 1 tasks. So please feel free to visit our website. Our link will be given below. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.